Hey kids, Miss Sarah here with the City of Tampa's Visual Art Studios. Today we're going to make a 3D paper city. The supplies you're going to need are construction paper, markers, scissors, tape, and a ruler. So the first step in making our 3D paper city is going to be to gather all of our materials, obviously. Then we're going to fold. I'm going to use a blue piece of paper for the sky in my city, the background. So I'm going to fold it in half and I'm going to cut the edges off and round it out so that it becomes a big U shape. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out how long I need my pieces to be for my road and my buildings. And they need to be a little bit longer than the blue piece of paper. Now I'm going to draw my road. I'm not going to draw it all the way to the edge because the edges are going to have some flaps that will be taped around the back of my blue piece of paper. So I drew my road and now I'm going to draw a car and maybe a big truck. And I drew that with pencil first so I could erase any mistakes that I made. And then I'm going to go over it with the marker. Now you can take this project further and you can outline it with marker and then you can go in and color these pieces too. So I'm just adding a little bit of detail to my cars. And now I'm going to cut it out. So if you notice, I kind of do a little snip there on the side. Those are going to be those little flaps or tabs that I'm going to tape to the back of my blue paper. And I'm keeping my shapes really simple because it makes it a lot easier for me to cut them out. If I make really complicated, intricate shapes, it'll be harder to cut out. So I was just erasing some of the extra pencil lines. Now those flaps or those tabs on the ends, I just fold those in and I'm just going to try it out and make sure it's going to be long enough and it's going to work. And it looks like it's going to be okay. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make my second layer, which is going to be some buildings. So the road with the cars on it, that piece is going to be the longest piece. So this next piece will be a little bit shorter. And now I'm going to outline my buildings. Again, I started with pencil so I could erase any mistakes. And then I'm going to go over it with marker. I'm drawing some windows on my buildings. And again, if you want to take this further, please feel free. Go ahead and color these buildings. Draw some extra things. Maybe draw some people in the windows. As many details as you want. I'm going to cut off the edges there. And then I'm going to cut my buildings out. And again, I kept this really simple, so it wasn't a big hassle to cut them out. So I've got those little tabs on the sides again. I'm going to make sure that it's shorter than my road, because the curve, the closer you get to that blue paper, the curve is going to get a little bit straighter. Yeah, so make sure the second layer is a little bit less curved than the road. Alright, so that looked like it was going to work. I'm just snipping off the edges of those tabs so it'll be even shorter. This might take a little bit of working out to make sure that your pieces are the right size. So I'm going to make my third layer. I'm going to make this third layer, the buildings in this third layer, taller than this first layer of buildings that I did so that you can see them. They're going to be placed behind the first layer of buildings, so I want to still be able to see them. And you can stagger the buildings too so that they really look like they're behind each other and in front of each other. Alright, so now I'm going to get the tape out and I'm going to tape the last layer that I drew. I'm going to tape that first. And you see how it's pretty much mostly straight. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to tape the second layer. And this will be a little bit more curved than the first. See that? From the top it's easier to see. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to tape that third layer, my road with my cars, and that'll have the most curve to it. All right, and once you figure out the curve and that it's going to work out, then you can go ahead and tape it on. And I'm going to tape it really good. Something else you can do with this later too is if you have one of those fake tea lights or a little flashlight or something, you can put it behind your building so it lights up the sky or something. That'd be pretty cool. So this is it all finished, and you're more than welcome to add some extra details. I put a moon in there and some stars, so feel free to add extra details if you want. And that's our paper city, so I hope everyone enjoyed watching the video. Thanks for being here, and I hope that you all stay safe, stay kind, and stay inspired.